Every morning before the world rushes in, close your eyes, breathe in deeply, and remind yourself of these 7 truths, not to impress the world, but to guide your inner world. Number 1. I am alive, and that is already a victory. When you open your eyes in the morning, before you do anything else, take a moment to realize something profoundly simple, yet often forgotten: you are alive. Not everyone who closed their eyes last night had the privilege to open them again today. You did. Your eyes see, your lungs breathe, your heart continues its rhythm. And this, though it may seem ordinary, is far from it. You are here, alive, awake, capable of thought, of movement, of feeling, and that alone is already a victory. It's easy to overlook the miracle in the mundane, to chase after achievements, possessions, or recognition, while forgetting the most precious gift already given: this breath, this very breath you're taking now. No effort of yours created it. It simply arrived, offering life. You see, we often measure success by how much we do, how much we earn, or how much we accomplish. But before any of that, there is something deeper: the opportunity to experience life at all. Without life, there is nothing to pursue. No goals, no ambitions, no lessons, no growth. Life is the canvas. Everything else is merely the painting. When you start your day, remind yourself to wake up is not guaranteed. It is not a right. It is a gift. A second chance. Another moment to move closer to who you are becoming. Another chance to try again, to heal, to improve, to forgive, to love. And when life feels heavy, when the mind begins to fill with problems, regrets, and anxieties about the future, come back to this truth: you are alive. That means hope is still here. That means change is still possible. That means no matter how dark yesterday felt, today carries new light. This is not a denial of life's challenges. Pain is real. Struggles are real. But even in the hardest moments, the fact that your heart still beats is proof that you have not been defeated. Not yet. As long as you breathe, you are not done. The battle is not over. The path is still open. Many people spend their lives waiting for some great sign to feel grateful, waiting for everything to be perfect before they smile. But the wise understand life itself is the sign. This moment is enough. This breath is worthy of gratitude. There are people in hospital beds right now praying for the chance to stand, to walk, to simply breathe without pain. There are those nearing the end of their time here, wishing for one more morning, one more sunrise, one more chance to say, I love you. And here you are, with that chance. Don't waste it. You don't need to earn your worthiness to be alive. You are already enough because you exist. And existence is not passive. It is powerful. You are not just occupying space. You are a force capable of thought, of creation, of connection, of transformation. So the next time you feel lost, overwhelmed, or insignificant, return to the beginning. You are alive. And that is not small. That is not meaningless. That is the seed of all potential. Don't rush past this realization in search of what's next. Sit with it. Let it fill you. Feel your breath, not just as oxygen, but as a reminder you are still in the game. You still have today. And that makes you rich in a way that no currency can match. Each heartbeat is a silent drum declaring you are still here. Each breath is a quiet whisper reminding you still have time. Let this knowing humble you. Let it awaken gratitude. Let it be the ground upon which you build your actions for the day. Because when you move from this place of awareness, everything changes. The world doesn't become easier, but your eyes become clearer, your steps become firmer, and your spirit becomes quieter. Don't take your life for granted. Don't treat this moment as disposable. Bow to it, honor it, and start your day with this unshakable truth. I am alive, and that is already a victory. Number 2. I am not my thoughts. I am the observer of them. As you sit in stillness each morning, thoughts will begin to arise, sometimes gently like ripples in a quiet pond. Other times, they come like crashing waves, strong, loud, insistent. Some are pleasant, others uncomfortable. Some lift you up, others drag you into old fears, memories, or doubts. But in that moment of awareness, remind yourself of something deeply liberating. I am not my thoughts. I am the one who observes them. This understanding is not just an idea. It is a path to freedom. Too often, people become entangled in the stream of their thoughts. They believe that what the mind says must be true. If a thought arises, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I can't do this, they follow it. They allow it to shape their identity, their decisions, their reality. But this is like hearing a voice in a crowded room and assuming it belongs to truth itself. The mind speaks, yes, but it does not always speak wisely. The mind is a powerful tool, but it is not your master. It is like a wild horse, strong, capable, but without training, it will lead you in circles or straight into chaos. You must learn to ride it, to guide it. But before you can guide it, you must first separate who you are from what it says. Just because a thought appears does not mean it belongs to you. Thoughts arise from many places. Memories, habits, fears, conditioning, the influence of others. They are echoes of yesterday, projections of tomorrow. And they will continue to come, no matter how strong or disciplined you become. Even the most focused mind will have moments of doubt, fear, or distraction. This is natural. What matters is what you do with those thoughts. When you become the observer, you step back, you watch the thought instead of being pulled by it. You become like the sky, vast, unmoved, while the thoughts pass like clouds. Some are dark, some are light. Some move quickly, others linger, but none of them define the sky. They simply pass through. Say to yourself in those moments, a thought is not a command. It is not the truth. It is simply a thought. This does not mean you ignore your thoughts or pretend they don't exist. It means you acknowledge them without judgment and without attachment. You watch them arise. You watch them fade, and in between you remain steady. This is not always easy. Some thoughts will carry emotion, anger, sadness, guilt, and when those emotions rise, they can feel overwhelming. But even emotion, like thought, is not who you are. Emotions are energy in motion, signals, not sentences. They are waves passing through your body and mind. Let them pass, let them teach, but do not let them take the seat of your identity. Imagine your thoughts as guests arriving at your door. Some are welcome, others are not. But you do not need to open the door for all of them. And even if one enters, you do not need to serve it tea and invite it to stay forever. You acknowledge it, you learn what you can, and when the time comes, you let it go. In meditation, this practice becomes clear. You sit, the mind begins to speak, you notice it, you return to the breath. It speaks. Again, you return. This is not failure, it is the practice itself, the strengthening of the inner witness. And so, in the morning, as your thoughts begin to shape the tone of your day, you must choose. Will you follow every thought like a leaf caught in the wind? Or will you remain grounded like the mountain, watching the wind blow, but unmoved by it? You are not your anxiety. You are not your doubt. You are not your past. You are the one who sees them all. And from that place of observation comes power. Because when you can see your thoughts clearly, you can choose which ones to believe, which ones to question, and which ones to release. That is true freedom, not the absence of thoughts but the presence of awareness. So each morning, remember this truth. Sit in silence. Watch the mind but do not lose yourself in it. You are deeper than the mind, older than any thought, wiser than any story it tries to tell. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. Let this be your starting point, and the rest of the day will flow with greater clarity and peace. Number 3, discipline is my path to freedom. When the world is still asleep and the sun has barely risen, there is a voice inside that often whispers, stay in bed, rest a little longer. This voice sounds soft, even kind. It offers comfort, ease, and convenience. But not all comfort is your ally, and not all ease leads to peace. Sometimes what feels good in the moment leads to suffering later. This is where the path begins, the moment of choice. Discipline is not about punishment. It is not harshness or force. It is clarity. It is choosing what you want most over what you want right now. It is recognizing that freedom is not found in doing whatever you feel like. It is found in training yourself to do what is right, even when you don't feel like it. Many people misunderstand freedom. They think freedom means acting without limits, living without rules, following every impulse. But this kind of freedom often becomes its own prison. If you are a slave to your moods, your cravings, your fears, then you are not free. You are chained, not by the world but by yourself. Real freedom is the ability to choose your response, regardless of how you feel. It is the ability to stay calm when others panic, to move forward when the mind screams to stop, to do what must be done, not because someone is watching, but because your path requires it. Discipline builds this kind of freedom. Each time you rise early to train your body or mind, you are not just building muscles or knowledge. You are sharpening your will. You are proving to yourself that your intentions are stronger than your excuses. And this changes everything. Small actions repeated daily shape who you become. When you practice discipline in the small things, how you wake, how you speak, how you move, how you eat, you prepare yourself for the larger tests. You don't need motivation. You need consistency. Motivation is like the wind. It comes and goes. Discipline is like the ground, solid, steady, always beneath your feet. This path is not glamorous. It is not always exciting. It can feel repetitive, even boring. But mastery is found in repetition. Wisdom is found in returning to the basics again and again. The mind resists this. It craves novelty, shortcuts, praise. But discipline is the quiet companion that asks for none of that. It simply requires that you show up. And when you do, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to walk through the day with a quiet confidence. Not because you are better than others, but because you are better than the person you were yesterday. You know that you can rely on yourself, that no matter what challenges come, you have trained for them. When the storms of life arrive, and they will, you will not be thrown off course, because you have prepared in calm waters. Your mind is steady. Your spirit is unshaken. This is the fruit of discipline. Some say discipline is hard, but consider the alternative. A life without discipline is harder. It is filled with regret, missed opportunities, and broken promises to yourself. It is waking up years later and realizing you drifted through your days, instead of walking with purpose. So when you feel the resistance, when the body is tired and the mind makes excuses, bow to the resistance and move anyway. That is the moment that matters most. Not when things are easy, but when they are hard. That is when growth occurs. That is when the inner fire is fed. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build, day by day, breath by breath, step by step. And it begins in the morning. The way you start your day is the way you train your mind. If you begin with strength, the day will follow. If you begin with weakness, it will be harder to reclaim your power later. So remind yourself as the day begins, discipline is not my enemy. It is my ally. It is the path to my highest self. I follow it not to impress others, but to master myself. Not to force life, but to flow with it, on my terms. Not to restrict who I am, but to uncover who I've always been. Discipline is my path to freedom, and I walk it, not perfectly, but with presence, with purpose, and with peace. Number 4Z, I will act, not be acted upon. Each morning, as you open your eyes, you stand at the threshold of a simple but profound choice. Will you move through this day as the creator of your experience, or will you allow the world to decide the quality of your life for you? This is the silent question life asks you every single dawn. Most people never realize they are even being asked. They wake up and immediately react to the noise, to the demands, to the expectations of others. Before they have even taken one conscious breath, their mind has already been pulled into the current of distraction. If you do not decide how you will show up, the world will decide for you. The messages you see, the complaints you hear, the urgency of other people's plans, they will shape you if you let them. You will become a reflection of everything around you instead of an expression of what is within you. You have a power many never claim. The power to choose a response, to set an intention, to determine the tone of your own life. This is not something reserved for special people or those with perfect circumstances. It is available to you in every moment, beginning with the first thoughts of the day. When you say to yourself, I will act, not be acted upon, you are drawing a clear boundary. You are declaring that your mind, your time, and your energy are sacred. You are no longer content to drift through life as a passive participant. You are stepping forward as a creator. Consider how much of your suffering has come from unconscious reaction. When someone criticizes you and you lash out without thinking. When circumstances change and you panic instead of pausing. When fear arises and you shrink instead of standing tall. These are all examples of being acted upon, allowing external conditions to dictate your inner state. But when you decide to act with awareness, you become like a mountain. The wind may howl, the rain may fall, but you remain unmoved in your purpose. You choose when to speak and when to stay silent. You choose which thoughts deserve your attention and which should be released. You choose to respond instead of react. This does not mean you must control everything around you. In truth, you cannot. Other people will continue to behave as they do. Circumstances will continue to shift beyond your plans. The world will still bring its chaos and uncertainty. But your strength does not lie in controlling the world. It lies in controlling yourself. Acting instead of being acted upon is a practice. It begins with small decisions. When you wake up, before reaching for your phone, take 3 deep breaths. Feel your body. Sense your mind. Set your intention. Today I will respond from clarity, not from habit. When challenges arise, pause. Ask yourself, what is the most skillful action I can take right now? Not the most comfortable, not the most convenient, the most skillful. The action aligned with your deeper purpose, not your momentary impulse. You will not always succeed. Sometimes you will react automatically. You will fall back into old patterns. That is part of learning. But every time you remember to return to conscious action, you grow stronger. You reclaim a piece of your power. Imagine the difference over time. A day lived in reaction is exhausting. You end up feeling scattered, frustrated, and drained because you have allowed everyone and everything to pull you in different directions. A day lived with conscious action, even in small ways, brings a quiet confidence. You may not control all outcomes, but you know you have lived from your center. You know you have chosen your responses with care. This is how you transform your life. Not by waiting for perfect circumstances, but by practicing presence within imperfect ones. This is how you build resilience, not by avoiding challenges, but by deciding who you will be when they appear. So as you prepare to step into the day, remind yourself, I will act, not be acted upon. I will not allow the noise of the world to drown out the wisdom of my heart. I will not allow the urgency of others to scatter my focus. I will remember that I always have a choice, to move with intention, to speak with purpose, to live with awareness. This is the quiet power of a mind trained in presence. The world may swirl around you, but you remain steady. You become the calm eye within the storm, the flame that does not flicker in the wind. Today and every day you have this choice. Claim it, honor it, live it. Number 5. My emotions are teachers, not enemies. As you rise in the morning and meet yourself in stillness, emotions may already be present. Sometimes you wake with a sense of peace. Other times there may be sadness lingering quietly in the chest, or tension held in the stomach, or an unexplainable irritation waiting before a single word is spoken. And when these emotions arise, the mind often resists. It labels them as bad, unwanted, or inconvenient. It tries to push them away or cover them with distraction. But this only deepens the suffering. What we resist grows stronger. What we ignore waits for another day to return. Instead, you must change your relationship with your emotions. You must stop treating them as enemies and begin to see them as teachers. They are not here to harm you. They are here to reveal something to you. Emotions are energy. They are not accidents. They are responses. They arise because something within you is being stirred. A memory, a wound, a belief, a fear. And they do not come without purpose. Every emotion has a message, something to teach, something to show. Anger may come when a boundary has been crossed or when injustice has been felt. It is not wrong to feel anger. What matters is what you do with it. If you suppress it, it becomes bitterness. If you react blindly from it, it becomes destruction. But if you sit with it, breathe through it, and listen, it may teach you where your strength is needed. Sadness may arrive like a quiet fog. It may tell you of something you've lost or something you missed deeply. It is not a weakness to feel sadness. It is a sign that you have loved, that something mattered. It reminds you of your humanity. If you allow it, sadness can soften the heart, make you more gentle, more compassionate toward others. Fear, too, has its place. It comes not just to scare you, but to protect you. It is the mind's way of asking, are you sure this is safe? But not all fear is accurate. Some fear is outdated, born from past experiences that no longer apply. When you listen to fear without being ruled by it, you can discern what is true danger and what is simply discomfort dressed as threat. Even joy has lessons. It teaches you what lights up your spirit, what aligns with your soul. Joy is not just for pleasure, it is a compass. It shows you what deserves more space in your life. But to truly feel joy, you must also allow yourself to feel pain. The heart that is open to one must be open to the other. So when emotion arises, don't run, don't hide, don't judge. Instead, breathe. Say to yourself, I see you. I feel you. I am listening. Ask the emotion, what are you trying to teach me? Not as a victim, but as a student. The body is wise. It often knows before the mind does. A tight chest, a heavy throat, a restless stomach. These are signals, not symptoms. They are your inner world trying to speak. And when you learn to listen, to be still, you become your own healer. This does not mean being ruled by emotion. You are not your anger. You are not your sadness. You are not your fear. You are the awareness behind them. But to be truly free, you must allow them to speak, to pass through you like waves, without clinging, without resistance. Emotions, when honored, move quickly. When suppressed, they harden. When feared, they grow. But when welcomed, they soften, release, and leave behind clarity. Each morning create space for this inner listening. Sit in silence. Ask yourself gently, what am I feeling right now? Don't analyze. Just observe. Let whatever arises be seen without trying to fix it. In this space, transformation begins. You are not broken because you feel deeply. You are not weak because your emotions sometimes overwhelm you. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a doorway into wisdom. The goal is not to feel nothing. It is to feel everything without losing your center. Emotions are part of your human experience. They are sacred visitors. Treat them with respect, and they will teach you how to live with more awareness, more compassion, and more authenticity. So as the day begins and emotion arises, don't armor yourself. Don't numb yourself. Instead, open your inner ears and say, you are welcome here. Teach me what I need to see. Then when your message is heard, you may go. This is how you grow. This is how you heal. This is how you walk the path, not in resistance but in harmony with everything that rises within. My emotions are teachers, not enemies. Remember this, and you will move through life not with fear but with understanding. Number 60, what I practice, I become. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are in training. Not just in the gym or on the mat, not just during meditation or study, but in every moment, through every choice, you are practicing something. And what you practice consistently, you become. This is a quiet truth that shapes your entire life. If you practice patience even in small moments of frustration, you are becoming a more patient person. If you practice awareness, by returning your attention to the breath, to your steps, to the task in front of you, you are becoming more mindful. But if you practice distraction, giving in to every urge to scroll, to escape, to avoid discomfort, then you are strengthening those habits too. The mind is always learning. The body is always adapting. They do not judge what you give them. They simply repeat what you teach. Like water carving stone, your repeated thoughts, behaviors, and reactions shape the structure of your inner world. If you wake up each morning and rush into the day with worry, checking your phone, Thinking about what could go wrong, you are practicing anxiety. Not intentionally but through repetition. If you complain often, criticize yourself or others, focus on what is lacking, you are practicing negativity. And what you practice you become. Not immediately but inevitably. This is why awareness is so important. Because the quality of your future depends on the habits you are building now. It is not a question of whether you're becoming something. You are. The only question is, what are you becoming? Some think they need dramatic changes to transform their lives. But transformation begins in the small moments. When no one is watching, when the decision seems insignificant. It begins when you choose to take one conscious breath instead of reacting. When you choose to pause instead of speak. When you choose to be kind when the easier path would be to judge. Each time you make such a choice, you are planting a seed. And though the results may not be visible today, over time those seeds grow into character, into strength, into peace. Practice is not about perfection. It is about presence. You will not always get it right. You will fall into old habits. You will sometimes speak without awareness, act without wisdom. That is part of the path. But each time you return, each time you catch yourself and make a different choice, you are shaping a new version of yourself. It's not about avoiding mistakes. It's about how quickly you return to what you want to become. Ask yourself often, what am I practicing right now? In this moment of tension, am I practicing impatience or calm? In this moment of silence, am I practicing gratitude or discontent? In this moment of interaction, am I practicing presence or distraction? This simple question can change everything. You don't need more time to change. You need more intention. Your life is not defined by occasional grand decisions, but by repeated daily actions. That is where your real power lies. In the choice you make when no one sees. In the attitude you bring when no one applauds. You want to become peaceful. Practice peace. Begin with your breath, with your tone of voice, with your response to the little things. You want to become strong. Practice resilience. Show up even when you don't feel like it. Especially then. You want to become wise. Practice listening, not just to others, but to yourself, to your thoughts, your motives, your patterns. Learn from them. The direction of your life is shaped not by what you say you value, but by what you repeatedly do. If you say growth matters to you, but you practice avoidance, the truth is clear in your actions. The mind is trained through doing, so train it intentionally. You are both the sculptor and the sculpture. Your habits are your tools. Your actions are your chisels. And the life you live is the reflection of what you've been practicing, consciously or unconsciously. So when the day begins, start with awareness. Ask yourself, what do I want to strengthen today? And then live in alignment with that answer. If you stumble, begin again. Each moment is a fresh opportunity to practice what truly matters. What I practice, I become. Let this guide your morning. Your choice is your path, not with pressure, but with quiet purpose. Because every breath, every thought, every step is shaping the person you are becoming. Make it intentional. Number 7, say, peace is not found. It is created. When you open your eyes in the morning, the world may already be moving. Noise from the street, notifications on your phone, messages waiting for response, responsibilities knocking at the door. But in the very first moments of the day, you must remember this truth. Peace is not found. It is created. Peace is not something you stumble upon by accident. It is not something that appears only when everything outside you is perfect. In fact, if you wait for the world to be silent, for people to behave, for life to finally calm down before you feel peace, you may wait forever. The world is full of motion. It is full of change. People will come and go. Plans will succeed and fail. The weather will shift, your body will age, and things you hold dear may one day disappear. This is not meant to make you afraid. It is simply reality. And in this ever-changing world, if you seek peace outside yourself, it will always be just out of reach. True peace does not come from the absence of chaos. It comes from the presence of clarity. It comes from the way you meet each moment, the way you breathe through tension, the way you respond to difficulty, the way you remain rooted in what matters, even when everything around you is uncertain. This kind of peace cannot be given to you. It must be cultivated, grown, created, intentionally, patiently, quietly. Each morning, you are given the opportunity to create this peace. Before you open your phone, before you speak a word, before the outside world reaches you, there is a small window, sacred and still, where you can return to yourself. Breathe, be still. Let your thoughts come and go like leaves floating on a river. Do not chase them. Do not resist them. Just observe. Peace does not come when the mind is empty. It comes when the mind is no longer clinging. It comes when you are not fighting your experience. When you allow the moment to be what it is without needing to change it. This is not passive. It is a strength. It takes strength to remain calm when others are angry. It takes strength to slow down when the world demands speed. It takes strength to let go of what you cannot control and focus on what you can, your attitude, your breath, your intention. You create peace in the way you walk, in the way you speak, in the way you listen, You create it in the spaces between your reactions, in the small pause before you respond, in the decision to forgive instead of holding on, in the choice to soften when it would be easy to harden. You will not always succeed. There will be days when you lose your center, when the noise outside becomes the noise inside. This too is part of the path, but do not let those moments define you. Let them refine you. Let them teach you what still needs attention, what still needs healing, and always return. Even in the middle of the storm, even when the day has already begun to slip away from you, you can return. One breath is all it takes to begin again. One moment of silence, one conscious step. That is the beauty of inner peace. It is never far. It waits for you beneath the surface of your thoughts. Peace is not passive stillness. It is active awareness. It is the ability to be fully present without needing everything to be perfect. So when the morning comes, don't go looking for peace. Create it. Cultivate it with your breath, your posture, your presence. Carry it into your day like a flame. And when the winds of the world blow hard, protect it, not with force but with mindfulness. Let your peace be your power. Let it be the quality that follows you into every conversation, every challenge, every success and failure. Others may not understand it. They may even mistake your calm for indifference. But let that be. You are not here to explain your peace. You are here to live it. And so, as you begin your day, remind yourself, not with urgency but with quiet strength, peace is not found, it is created, and I am the one who creates it within myself again and again. So before you reach for your phone, before the demands of the world arrive, return to yourself. Repeat these words, not like a checklist, but like a prayer, a declaration, a reminder of who you are and who you are becoming. Each morning is a doorway. Do not stumble through it asleep, step through it awake, with strength, with clarity, with grace. Let these 7 truths not just be spoken, but lived, not just heard, but embodied. Then your mornings will no longer be routine. They will be sacred.